It was Louisville's first nonpartisan primary for Metro Council to Louisville mayor. The November matchups are set. Craig Greenberg and Shamika Parrish-Wright garnered top votes in Tuesday's primary for mayor.
WLKY's Alexis Matthews joins us now live to break down this and other Jefferson County races. Alexis.
Jennifer Rick, today I caught up with the primary election winners for several of those races. Now, after this victory, they tell me the momentum is only increasing between now and November 3rd. Now, the mayoral race for the general election will see a rematch between incumbent Craig Greenberg and Shamika Parrish-Wright. Now, Parrish-Wright, who received 26% of the votes last night, was back on the trail today, meeting potential voters at a community event in the East End. Meanwhile, Greenberg, who dominated 52% of the primary votes, said he was honored by the win and said he aims to continue serving the community.
I think Louisville families can start to feel the progress. We know we're living through incredibly challenging times, but people are seeing and feeling the results. Public safety is improving with shootings, over half as few shootings now as when I took office 3 years ago. We've created over 9,000 good-paying new jobs, more affordable housing, more parks and libraries, and more. At the same time, we know there's still so much more work to do.
We knew that we had to amplify the people power, but also continue to raise enough to win. That's why I always said we would raise enough to win. So we made our goal to be one of the top 2 vote getters, because we knew with what we might raise, we can make that happen. I expect that now that more people will take the campaign serious, we will get more support.
Now, Parrish-Wright's Louisville Metro Council seat was up for grabs in the primary. The 2 candidates who will challenge each other for District 3 are Keisha Dorsey and Kumar Rashad. Rashad received 32% of the votes to Dorsey's 48%. Now, Dorsey is seeking to reclaim her leadership in Metro Council after a short stint in Metro government that included a public firing as Mayor Greenberg's chief of staff and an ongoing discrimination lawsuit. Dorsey says her focus is on the people of District 3.
What meant so much to me is when the people of District 3 said, no, we didn't forget. We remember the girl who got into the trenches with us, who was always available, who was always pushing and fighting for her district. And regardless of anything that has been said about you, you showed us who you are.
Now, we also heard from the primary winner of Metro Council District 5. Ray Sir Friendly C. Barker will challenge incumbent Donna Purvis this November. He garnered 40% of the votes to Purvis's 24%.
When you add it all up, the 5 people that ran in this race, their total is 76% against the current leadership. So if you're in a district where 76% of the people that live here are saying we don't trust your leadership, that's a statement in itself.
And in the Democratic primary for Jefferson County Sheriff, Stephen Yancey pulled ahead of Steve Healy by a few thousand votes. Yancey served with the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office for nearly 30 years. Now, this is his second run for Louisville Sheriff, coming in close second to former Sheriff John Aubrey in 2022. Yancey says this primary win with 40% of the votes shows that it is not about the money spent during a campaign.
Money doesn't always win elections. I think it's the character of the person. And I look at the race, I look at Shamika Parrish's race. I watched her, and I think she's doing amazing. Her and I are kind of in a similar situation. We are people of the citizens. And the citizens, we're not going to let them down. And we're going to keep running and keep running because we both want to make Louisville better.
Now, Yancey says his campaign aims to change the culture of the sheriff's office. He'll now face Republican Alexander William Marson in the general election. Rick and Jennifer.